Hello everyone, this is Rick, and today we are going to start a new series on the Gupta Empire. So, in this episode 1, we will focus on the sources of the Gupta period. In this series, we are going to talk about every major aspects of Gupta Empire in great detail. So, please go through all the episodes starting with this where we will discuss about the sources of Gupta history. Puranas as the primary literary sources. So, how were the Puranas important and how they act as the basis of literary source of the Gupta period? Key Puranas, the Vayu, Brahmanda, Matsya, Vishnu, and Bhagavad Puranas are vital for reconstructing Gupta history. Scholars like K.P. Jaiswal and Kirfel affirm their reliability. So, scholars like K.P. Jaiswal and Kirfel have confirmed that these Puranas are very much important for the reconstruction of Gupta history. Even though there are more about 18 Puranas, but among them four, mainly Vayu, Brahmanda, Matsya, Vishnu, and Bhagavad, which makes five. These Puranas are important for reconstructing Gupta history. Historical details. The Puranas provide dynastic list detailing rulers like Chandragupta I and Samudragupta, aiding in understanding the Gupta succession. So these Puranas give the chronology and who came after whom in the Gupta dynasty. So thus from these details we come to understand the Gupta succession. Geographical scope. These texts describe the empire's territorial expanse, including regions like Prayag, Saket, which is Ayodhya, and Magad. So, not only the genealogical history of the Gupta rulers have been given in the Puranas, but also we get to see the geographical and territorial expanse of their rules when Puranas describe areas like Prayag, Saket, and Magad. The Puranas are instrumental in dating the rise of smaller states and the integration of new provinces into the Gupta Empire. So, these are very important in order to understand how the smaller states rose into prominence and later on how new provinces were integrated into the empire. Scholarly consensus, Jaiswal's analysis underscores the importance of these texts in framing the political history of the Guptas. So, thus, all these texts are very much important. The Puranas, mainly Vayu, Brahmanda, Matsya, Vishnu, and Bhagavad Puranas, are very much important in understanding the political history and geographical scope of the Gupta Empire. Now, Dharmasastras, legal and political framework. How were the Dharmasastras important in understanding the legal and political structure of the Guptas? Brihaspati text, the Brihaspati Smriti, possibly composed during the early Gupta period, provides significant insights into governance and law. So, Brihaspati Smriti is a Dharma Shastra that was composed during the early Gupta period, and it gives us a great deal of information about governance and law. Other important texts include those by Vyas, Harita, Pitamaha, and Pulastya, offering perspectives on legal and social norms. So, not only Brihaspati Smriti but other texts, mainly composed, the ones composed by Vyas, Harita, Pitamaha, and Pulastya, also give us a great deal of information regarding legal and social structure of the Gupta period. Dharmashastras discusses the king's duties, law enforcement, and social hierarchy, reflecting Gupta era legal practices. So, what were the legal practices? What were the rules for the king? What were the duties for the king? How the law was enforced? How different kinds of officers, royal officers functioned in different departments. All these things are given in the Dharmasastras. Relevance to governance. These texts were likely used as reference points for rulers and administrators during the Gupta period. So, all these texts were referred to at the times of need so that they can administer properly during the Gupta period. Historical analysis. Scholars like Jaiswal consider these texts as vital for understanding the political and administrative mechanisms of the Gupta Empire. So scholars like Jaiswal has done a great deal of research in order to understand how these texts are vital for understanding the political and administrative structure of the Gupta period. Kamandaka Niti Shastra. Niti Shastra means law text. So, how these texts guided as a law book for the rulers. Authorship attributed to Shikhar, Prime Minister of Chandragupta II. The Kamandaka Niti Shastra is a comprehensive treatise on statecraft. So, Kamandaka Niti Shastra was written by a person named Shikhar, who was the prime minister at the court of Gupta ruler Chandragupta II. He was the third major Gupta ruler, and this text is a comprehensive treatise on statecraft. Political philosophy. The text emphasizes the role of morality as a strategic tool in governance, advising rulers on maintaining power. So, these texts provide a great strategic act as a strategical tool in governance, and it advises the rulers on how to maintain power. Historical context. Written during the reign of Chandragupta II, it reflects the political ideologies and administrative strategies of the time. So, this text was contemporary to the Emperor Chandragupta II, and we get to know about the political ideologies and administrative strategies during his time. The Niti Shastra covers topics such as diplomacy, military strategy, and internal governance, serving as a manual for rulers. So, these texts provide a lot of information about how to maintain diplomatic relationships, how to form military strategies in the case of battles, how the internal governance should be managed, and thus they act as a manual for the rulers. Impact. It was likely used by successive Gupta rulers as a guidance for effective governance and administration, influencing political thought. Kavya Nataka literature or cultural narratives. So, these are the literary evidences during the Gupta time which act as cultural narratives of the period. Setubandha Kavya, Kaumudi Mahotsava, Devi Chandraguptam, and Mudra Rakshas are key texts from the Gupta period reflecting its rich literary culture. So, a lot of literary texts which have been the fundamental basis of knowing Indian culture, ancient Indian culture, was written during the Gupta period, and most of these texts provide a great deal of information about the culture of the time. Setu Vandha Kavya. Written in Prakrit, this epic details Ram's conquest of Lanka, symbolizing the triumph of dharma over adharma. So this is a rewriting of the epic Ramayana and focusing on the part where Ram conquered Lanka and established righteousness over evil. So that is has been described in Setuvandha Kavya, and this was written in Prakrit language. Kaumudi Mahotsava, a drama in 5 acts. Its authorship is disputed, with some attributing it to Kishorika and others to Vajjika. So, Who wrote this is a matter of controversy. Some historians say that the writer of Kaumudi Mahotsava is Kishorika, and other historians say that the writer was Vajjika. But this is a play where five acts have been compiled together in order to form a beautiful story. Devi Chandraguptam, likely written by Vishakhadatta, this play narrates political events during the reign of Chandragupta II, showcasing courtly intrigue. So, this is a story of how Chandragupta II came into power and how brave he was, and also how did he get his wife. So, this is written by Vishakadatta, and this play narrates the political events during the reign of Chandragupta II. Mudra Rakshasas, another work by Vishakadatta, it focuses on the power struggles within the Gupta court, providing insights into political maneuvers. So these Kavya Nataka literature act as a major source not only of entertainment but of understanding the cultural dynamics of the Gupta period. Allahabad Pillar inscription, which is a chronicle of the most famous Gupta ruler Samudragupta. So, Allahabad Pillar inscription provide details about Gupta Emperor Samudragupta. It was written by Harisen. The Allahabad Pillar inscription is a panegyric that details the military achievements and administrative prowess of Samudragupta. So, all the military achievements have been chronologically listed along with the states that he conquered, who were the rulers, who were the dynasties that he dominated over. All these things have been written in Allahabad Pillar inscription, and thus we get to understand the administrative prowess of Samudragupta. The inscription lists Samudragupta's conquest over numerous rulers, including the Naga kings and the Vakatakas. So, all the rulers who were conquered by Samudragupta have been given in this list, and also we get mention of Naga kings and the Vakatakas. Political reach. It highlights the extent of Gupta influence from the Ganges Valley to South India, showcasing Samudragupta's expansive rule. So it highlights the fact of the it highlights the fact that there was a great amount of area covered by the Gupta military forces under Samudragupta, and thus the Ganges Valley to South India all came under his rule. And also, we get to understand the military tactics which were enforced by Samudragupta in order to conquer such a great amount of area. Administrative insight. The inscription also mentions Samudragupta's administrative policies, emphasizing his role as a benevolent ruler. So he was not only a great conqueror but also a benevolent ruler, as has been stated in Allahabad Pillar inscription. The inscription is often cited as a key source for understanding the political and military history of the Gupta Empire. Other inscriptions, regional power and influence. So there was not only Allahabad pillar inscription but other inscriptions as well, which also provide a great deal of information regarding the Gupta emperors. Iran stone inscription. It dates to 484 AD, documenting the rule of Buddha Gupta and providing insights into the administration of the Gupta Empire in central India. So, this was a later Gupta ruler, and all his uh, all his administration structure has been documented in the Iran stone inscription, which dates to 484 AD. Mathura stone inscriptions commemorates the victories of Chandragupta II over the Shakas, showcasing Gupta military strength. So this is an inscription that depicts victory of Chandragupta II over the Shaka rulers, and we get to know about the Gupta military strength. Bilsat Pillar inscription chronicles the rule of Kumaragupta I, highlighting his patronage and governance. So, this is a donative inscription by Kumaragupta I, where we come to know about the patronages that he gave to different religious institutions, and also the governmental structure of Kumaragupta has been noted in the Bilsat Pillar inscription. Gadhwa stone inscription offers details on Gupta Empire's regional administration, particularly in northern India. So, how were the different regions conquered and how were they administered under the Guptas has been stated in Gadhwa stone inscription. Now, this is one of the second most important inscription of the Gupta Empire, that is Vitari Pillar inscription. It provides an account of Skandagupta's reign, focusing on his military campaigns and defense against the Huns. So, Huns were tribe from Central Asia. They attacked India at the time of the Gupta ruler Skandagupta, and thus he defeated he inflicted a crushing defeat on the Hun forces in such a way that for about 100 years there was no further Hun attack. Chinese accounts, Fa-Hien's observations. So Fa-Hien was a Chinese traveler who came to India during the Gupta time, and what did he observe? Fa-Hien's journey. Fa-Hien, a Buddhist Chinese monk, traveled to India during the reign of Chandragupta II, documenting his observations in his work Fuguo Ji. So his work Fuguo Ji states that he traveled to India at the time of Chandragupta II, even though the name of the ruler Chandragupta II has not been mentioned in any of the writings of Fa-Hien, but still from the other sources we come to know that he came during the time of Chandragupta II, and all the observations of the time has been recorded in the work Fuguo Ji. He described the religious practices, noting the prominence of Buddhism and construction of stupas and monasteries. So, Buddhism was the most prominent religion in the Indian subcontinent at that point of time, and there were construction of stupas and monasteries going on during the Gupta dynasty. Fa-Hien remarked on the peacefulness of the empire, the absence of severe punishments, and the prosperity of the people. So, people during the Gupta times were wealthy and they lived peacefully, happily with one another in such a way that the empire did not need to punish anyone in a severe manner. He noted the efficient administration, highlighting the roles of local and provincial officials in maintaining order. So, all the local officers, all the administrative officers, who were they and what were their responsibilities, everything has been noted by Fa Hien. His accounts are crucial for understanding the cultural and religious exchanges between India and China during the Gupta period. Now, another important Chinese traveler was I-Tsing, and he also came during the Gupta times. He also made very specific observations regarding the society at that point of time. I-Tsing travels. I-Tsing visited India after the death of Harsha, documenting his journey and interactions with Indian scholars and monks. So, even though this is much after the Gupta times, but we can understand the cultural dynamics of the period. It Singh mentions a shrine built by Maharaja Sri Gupta for Chinese pilgrims, indicating early cultural and religious exchanges. So Maharaj Sri Gupta was the builder of a shrine which housed the Chinese pilgrims, or which was specifically made for the Chinese pilgrims, and thus we understand that there was a cultural interaction between Indians and Chinese during the Gupta period. While I-Tsing travels several centuries after Gupta period, his references to Gupta rulers and their influence remain significant. So even after he came 300 years after the peak time of Gupta period, but still in his writings there are mentions of several Gupta rulers, and thus we can understand how influential were the Guptas. He observed the practices of Mahayana Buddhism and legacy of Gupta patronage in Indian religious life. So even though the Guptas were not powerful by the time of I-Tsing, but still the legacy of Gupta patronage had its influence in the Indian religious life. I-Tsing's accounts provide insights into lasting influence of Gupta culture on Buddhist practices in China and Southeast Asia. Seals, administrative evidence. So, what were the seals during the Gupta period and how were they important in Gupta administration? Numerous seals have been found in Vaishali, particularly in Muzaffarpur district, shedding light on Gupta administration. So Vaishali is a place where numerous Gupta seals have been found, and thus it sheds light on the administrative structure of Gupta period. The seals of Mahadavi Dhruva Swami, wife of Chandragupta II, is a significant find offering insights into royal administration and lineage. So, wife of Chandragupta II, Mahadevi Dhruva Swamini, was very influential, and that can be understood from the seals in her name which have been found. Seals from both high ranking officials and local administrators have been discovered, indicating a well organized bureaucratic system. So, every hierarchical officers or every kind of administrative officers had their own seals, even the high ranking officials and the local administrators. Thus, we get an evidence of a well organized bureaucratic system. These seals provide evidence on provincial and local governance, reflecting the administrative structure of the Gupta Empire. The seals, often made of clay or metal, feature symbols and inscriptions that denotes official titles and administrative roles. So there were not only clay seals, but some were also made out of metal, and there were symbols which acted as logos that can be attributed to a specific officer or a specific administrative person. Monuments and architectural advancements. So there were different monuments and architectural advancements seen during the Gupta period. Gupta period monuments at Mathura, Benares, and Nalanda provide valuable insights into architectural advancements of the time. So, Gupta period had different monuments at places, major religious places like Mathura, Benares, and educational place like Nalanda, and they provide a great deal of information regarding the cultural and architectural advancement during the Gupta period. Temples at Udaygiri and Pathari are notable for their intricate carvings and architectural styles reflecting religious devotions. So there are temples in Udaygiri and Pathari, and they have very intricate, detailed and beautiful carvings in them, and also they reflect a great deal of information about religious devotion of the people during the time. The seated Buddha in Sarnath is a prime example of Gupta art, showcasing the synthesis of artistic and religious elements. So, the seated Buddha sculpture at Sarnath is one of the most important evidence of Gupta art, and it has both religious and artistic elements in it, and we also get to understand the religious tolerance of the Gupta period from these Buddhist sculptures. Gupta architecture is characterized by its simplicity, proportionality, and integration of religious symbolism influencing later Indian architecture. So there was both simplicity and proportionality along with religious symbolism, and thus altogether it had a great influence in later Indian architecture. These monuments illustrate the Gupta period's contributions to art and architecture, marking a golden age in Indian cultural history. Religious temples and sculptures. What were the main temples and how were these sculptures significant during this period? Temples at Devghar, the left hand side picture is of the temple in Devghar, and Aihole stand as significant examples of Gupta religious architecture dedicated to Vishnu, Shiva, and Durga. So Aihole is having Durga temple, Devghar is having Vishnu temple. The temple in Devghar is very famous for the 10 avatar sculpture within the temple. So the fine sculptures in the Badami caves reflect the artistic excellence of the Gupta period, particularly in religious iconography. So during the Gupta period, there was a surge in the religious iconography, and that can be understood from the sculptures in Badami's caves, which reflect the artistic excellence of the time. These temples and sculptures are rich in religious symbolism depicting various deities and mythological narratives. So these temples are useful to understand the religious dynamics of the time because it depicts a lot of deities and also it narrates mythological stories. Gupta era temples and sculptures set the standard for religious art in India, influencing subsequent architectural and artistic traditions. So, this period served as a benchmark for the subsequent architectural and artistic traditions in the Indian subcontinent. The temples also reflect the integration of various religious practices, showcasing the diversity of religious life during the Gupta period. Numismatic sources, Gupta coins. Gupta period is very much significant for the gold coins which have been found. Allen's catalog, published in 1914, this comprehensive catalog of Gupta coins remains a key source of understanding Gupta numismatics. So, this catalog was very much important to understand how Gupta coins can play a major role for understanding the history of the time. Variety of coins. Gupta coins feature depictions of rulers such as Samudragupta, Chandragupta, and Chandragupta II, with each ruler having distinctive coin types. So many rulers have been depicted in the coins, mainly Samudragupta, Chandragupta I, and Chandragupta II, and each of these rulers have a specific coin type. The coins from the Gupta era include the tiger type, lyricist type, horseman type, and archer type, each representing different aspects of Gupta sovereignty and military power. So there are different types of coins during Gupta period, and all these types reflect different aspects of Gupta power and sovereignty. Most Gupta coins were made of gold and silver, reflecting the empire's wealth. The coins are known for their detailed craftsmanship and artistic merit. So, these gold coins reflect the wealth and the administrative prowess of the Gupta Empire, and these coins are known for the detailing in their manufacturing process. The coins often depict deities, royal figures, and symbolic animals, providing insights into the religious and political ideologies of the period. The widespread issuance of the coins across the empire indicates a well developed economy, with Gupta coins serving as vital medium for exchange in trade. So the geographical extent of the Gupta coins is also to be taken as an evidence of the economic development during the period. Samudragupta's coinage, which is a reflection of power. This coin, which is the tiger type coin, symbolizes Samudragupta's military might, often associated with his numerous conquests across the Indian subcontinent. So, this tiger type coin uh, showcases the military power of the Gupta ruler Samudragupta. Lyricist type coin depicts Samudragupta playing a veena, which is a lyre, illustrating his patronage of arts and his role as a culturally inclined ruler. Ashwamedha type coin commemorates the Ashwamedha Yajna, a horse sacrifice ritual conducted by Samudragupta to assert his supremacy as a ruler. These coins, marked by a standard emblem, signify administrative stability and uniformity in the empire's currency system. So, from all these varieties in the type of coins, we can understand that there was a stable administrative system and also there was uniformity in the currency system during Samudragupta's time. Samudragupta's coinage is celebrated for its artistic quality and the variety of designs, reflecting his multifaceted role both as a conqueror and a patron of arts. Chandragupta II's coinage, numismatic excellence. So, Chandragupta II was a ruler whose coins was noted for the excellence in the artistry of numismatics. This type of coin, which is the archer type coin, is most common during Chandragupta II's reign, symbolizing his prowess as a warrior and his dedication to protecting the empire. Horseman type coin represents the expansionist policies of Chandragupta II, particularly his victories over the Shaka rulers, solidifying his control over western India. Lion Slayer type coin depicts Chandragupta II in the act of slaying a lion, symbolizing his strength and valor as a ruler, further enhancing his imperial image. Silver coins. So, not only gold coins were issued, but different denominations in the form of silver coins were also issued during the time of Chandragupta II. So, Chandragupta II issued silver coins for regions previously under the control of Western Kshatraps, reflecting his economic policies and integration of these territories. Chandragupta II's coins are considered some of the finest examples of Indian numismatic art, showcasing the height of Gupta craftsmanship and empire's wealth. Now we will go through a summary of the entire presentation. Comprehensive sources. The Gupta period is well documented through a variety of sources, including Puranas, Dharmasastras, inscriptions, literary works, and numismatic evidence, each contributing to a holistic understanding of the era. The Puranas provide vital information on the political history and territorial extent of the Gupta Empire, helping to establish a timeline for key events and rulers. Dharmashastras like Brihaspati Smriti offer insights into the legal and administrative structure of the time, reflecting the governance practices of Gupta rulers. Key inscriptions such as the Allahabad Pillar detail the conquest and administration of emperors like Samudragupta, showcasing their military and political prowess. Kavya Nataka literature reflects the cultural richness and literary achievements during the Gupta era, providing context for social and political life of the period. Gupta coins, particularly those of Samudragupta and Chandragupta too, are invaluable for understanding the economic and artistic achievements of the empire. These diverse sources collectively highlight the Gupta period as a golden age in Indian history, marked by significant advancements in art, culture, governance, and economy. So that was all about the sources of Gupta history. One by one, we will cover the political history of the Gupta period, the administrative systems, the economy of the Gupta period, and also art and architecture. So please stay tuned for further episodes. And I publish ancient Indian history in a great detailed manner. So please go through my other videos also. Thank you so much for your love and support.